It is a year to the day since the Taliban entered Kabul and took control of Afghanistan. The fall of the capital came after a US decision to pull troops out of the country, and since then, the lives of millions have been upended, with the country in the grip of a humanitarian crisis and girls deprived of secondary education. Well, with me now is Bill Roggio, Senior Fellow at the Foundation for Defence of Democracies. Welcome, Bill. Great to have you with us. In these 12 months, life has changed dramatically for millions of Afghans. Do you think that the US State Department estimated that things would change quite so quickly?
The US government calculation when it announced the withdrawal, I believe that the Afghan government had several years before they would be under threat of a Taliban takeover. It wound up, it only took 3.5 months. The U.S. government, the Biden administration, the State Department, the Department of Defense, the U.S. intelligence agencies, they vastly underestimated the Taliban's strengths. The U.S. government did nothing to help assure or to leave behind something that could fight the Taliban. Even if the Afghan government had to draw back, it had to reorganize its military. There was no opportunity for the Afghans to prepare for life after U.S. withdrawal.
So, Bill, where does this leave things now then? Because recently, of course, we've seen the death of the al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri in Kabul. What does this tell us then about, I guess, the threat of al-Qaeda and its relationship with the Taliban?
Yeah, aside from the plight of the Afghan people, which is horrific, Afghanistan has now become a full-fledged state sponsor of terrorism. Afghanistan is a safe haven for terrorist groups. Ayman al-Zawahiri, the head of al-Qaeda, is not in Afghanistan alone. He has a staff. He has, a military council, a political leadership that is close by. The Biden administration said al-Qaeda was gone when he announced the withdrawal, and yet within a year of the U.S. leaving, the head of al-Qaeda is killed, not just in the mountainous area or remote area of Afghanistan, but in the heart of Afghanistan, in its capital, in Kabul.
And so what then about a plan from Washington to deal with a growing threat from al-Qaeda as well as ISIS-K as well? Is there something substantial?
There is no substantial plan. It's relying on over-the-horizon counterterrorism strikes. Despite the killing of Zawahiri, this was done by the CIA. The Over-the-Horizon Counterterrorism Center, which was set up to deal with terrorism threats, has produced 0 target packages for the administration. So one strike does not make a successful policy. It's an outlier in this case. Again, as I mentioned, there are numerous al-Qaeda leaders and operatives based in Afghanistan, despite administration claims to the contrary. Remember, they told us al-Qaeda was done, and yet al-Qaeda's leader is there. We can't trust them on the intelligence and its strategy to target al-Qaeda and other terrorist leaders, including the Islamic State, it's weak at best.